details on the movements of the New South Wales police officer accused of murdering couple Jessie Baird and Luke Davies in a Sydney home.
Let's go live to Jack Hahn in Paddington this morning. Jack, police have revealed they believe only Jessie was the intended target.
Yeah, police will claim that in court, that the only intended target was the former Channel 10 star and that his boyfriend, Luke Davies, was shot for simply being at the Paddington property. Detectives have established a timeline of events which shows the accused killer purchasing a surfboard bag days before the incident, but then after gunfire rang out, another bag was purchased. Here is how police will describe the killings in court.
We will be strongly claiming in our case that this murder was premeditated and the second murder occurred because of, unfortunately, Luke's appearance at the house. Following the incidents and the murders, he went back and bought a further surfboard cover. We know the accused has spoken to a number of people on those 3 days when he was on the run. We want those people to come forward.
And this morning it's been revealed that Constable Bolamar Condon has been served a dismissal notice in an effort to boot him from the force. Meantime, we are continuing to see floral tributes laid here at the Paddington property. The number of them have been growing overnight. There's at least 30 behind me in the distance as people continue to be touched by this story.
Jack, thank you.
To breaking news now, police are hunting a gunman after a man was shot in Sydney's West. The shooter firing at the man from a vehicle on Donnelly Street in Guildford just after midnight. The 40-year-old shot below the waist and taken to hospital in a stable condition. Police are now investigating if a burnt-out car found 10 minutes away in Carramar is linked.
Australia's chief spy has revealed a former politician betrayed the country to a sophisticated foreign intelligence agency. Let's bring in Nine Federal Politics reporter Claudia Vodoljak. Claudia, good morning to you. An alarming warning from ASIO.
Oh, it sure is, Carl. They've warned that this former Australian politician was used to sell out the country in a sophisticated foreign operation aimed at targeting a former Prime Minister. Australia's top spy has revealed at one point they proposed bringing a family member of the PM into the spy's orbit. That plan didn't go ahead, but others did, including sending academics and political figures to an overseas conference so the spies could try to access information about our country's national security and defence. We know the group is known as the A-Team and was operating until at least late last year. They've been disrupted by ASIO. Top spy Mike Burgess wouldn't name the country behind it, nor the politician or Prime Minister of the time, but warns all Australians need to be aware.
Australians need to know the threat is real, the threat is now, and the threat is deeper and broader than you might think.
In his national threat assessment last night, Burgess also warned Islamic terror is our top threat, acknowledging a realistic possibility of a terrorist attack planning in the next 12 months, expressing concerns about the rise of extremists. Carl?
Big warning, that's for sure. Claudia, thank you.
Shots have been fired at a home in Melbourne's West. Bullets peppering the front door of a property at Kurrajong just before midnight. 2 people were inside at the time but weren't injured. A woman has been taken to hospital after being stabbed in Melbourne's north. Police were called to a home on Spring Street in Reservoir at about 10:30 last night. She was taken to hospital with serious injuries. CCTV has captured the final moments of a 29-year-old woman and 34-year-old man in Brisbane's Outer West. One of the man's roommates returning home to the Doolandella property, finding the pair dead. Police believe the two were known to each other. Nine News confirming one of the bodies was bound with zip ties. The man's housemates are speaking with police but are not suspects. Charges overnight for a 79-year-old man over an office shooting in Sydney's CBD just before 1 p.m. yesterday. The man walking into a law firm allegedly opening fire at a 77-year-old solicitor, Van Cooney, in the groin over what police say was a personal dispute. The man has been hit with 7 charges, including intent to murder. The victim now in a stable condition in hospital.
Relief for some Victorians this morning after an emergency blaze was downgraded, but 2 fires in the state's west are still burning out of control. Today's Isabella Stashkovsky joins us now with the details. Isa, good morning. Residents are being told not to become complacent.
Yeah, that's certainly right, Sarah. Good morning to you. We know that conditions can change so rapidly, but for now it does seem that fire crews have got the upper hand and have got things in their grasp. We know that there was a fire in the west of the state at Daryl, and that was burning at an emergency level. That's now been downgraded and brought under control. 2 fires, though, are still out of control, and they are at a watch and act level. One's near Geelong and the other is near Ballarat. Conditions did become pretty scary at one point yesterday. We know that more than 30,000 people between between Ballarat and Ararat, they were told that they should be leaving their properties, and homes around those areas were lost. There were plenty of people, though, who chose to stay and defend their properties and businesses, including Sarah, who we met yesterday.
We've got sprinklers on the roof, we've got our own fire truck, we've put in fire hydrants, much bigger concrete tanks which don't burn. We run our business from here. We've got a wedding this Saturday and we don't want to let anybody down.
And as for the fire danger ratings right across the state, we know that yesterday it was extreme across half the state, and some areas in the Wimmera, they were told that extreme conditions, they could actually be at a catastrophic level. Today, warnings right across Victoria are high and are moderate, so it's a much better situation for fire authorities. And Sarah, hopefully those two other blazes will be brought under control in the next couple of hours.
All right, thanks, Susan.
An elderly woman pushing a toddler in a pram southeast of Melbourne has been hit by a motorhome. Police say the vehicle was parked in Emerald when it rolled down a street yesterday morning, hitting the 70-year-old before crashing into the veranda of a store. She was airlifted to hospital with serious injuries. The young child escaped harm. A car has been dumped in water at a coastal town south of Brisbane. It's believed the vehicle was dumped off a boat ramp suspected to belong to a Kumbaba resident. The car is still almost fully submerged in the water. It's unknown when the vehicle will be recovered.
Alarming claims this morning. A senior Gold Coast officer was ordered to terminate a police chase with young offenders due to concerns of paying overtime. Carla Toomer is on the Gold Coast with that story. Carla, good morning to you. What's been claimed?
Good morning, Carl. There are explosive claims in a Courier Mail article this morning. Gold Coast Sergeant Aaron Ottaway was reportedly stood down for defying orders to stop a car chase of armed teen offenders because of overtime. Instead, Ottaway told cops over the radio, "We're hunting criminals and a little overtime won't hurt the budget." Now, the anger over the action taken against Ottaway was part of widespread police unrest that reportedly led to Katarina Carroll, the police commissioner, resigning last week. We have spoken to Queensland Police this morning and they say Ottaway was not stood down because of overtime. Carl?
OK, thank you.
Western Australian security guards selling items made by prisoners have been told no. The standard practice shut down by the state's new Corrective Services Minister after it came to light that even the husband of the superintendent at Bunbury Regional Prison was selling items on Marketplace. The Justice Department finding that no prison resources were misused. The South Australian Government has launched a legal bid against Snowtown serial killing accomplice Mark Ray Hayden, claiming he is still dysfunctional and dangerous. The government is fighting to have him declared as a high-risk offender and to implement extended supervision for up to 5 years before he is freed in 3 months. A crane has toppled over at a construction site in inner-city Melbourne, bringing down power lines. It tipped in South Yarra just after 5:30 yesterday afternoon, also damaging the roof of a house. The 40-year-old operator was taken to hospital suffering a non-life-threatening injury. A memorial will be held today for Ipswich grandmother Vilene White, allegedly stabbed to death by a 16-year-old at a Redbank Plains shopping centre. Over $33,000 has been raised online to support her family.